I always like to ask, how are you doing? How are your people doing during this crazy year that we've had that we call 2020?
Um, I'm very blessed to say that I don't know any immediate family that has passed or got sick from COVID. Um, I'm, trying to stay positive about it, but like, yeah, this shit is very sad.
Mhm.
Everybody staying safe, trying to stay creative, trying to stay away from the motherfucking police. And yeah, I definitely live, I guess I live by Virginia, and there's a lot of Trump supporters out there. Even though they voted Biden, there's a lot of Trump supporters out there. So it's just like, every now and then I see a Trump supporter and I cringe.
Yeah, yeah. It's a funny feeling. I mean, I'm here in Georgia, and we just
Oh,
we just won by the skin of our teeth. So there's a lot of people looking at us crazy. It's the
yeah,
opposite.
like the vibes is hella different. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the beginning of quarantine, obviously, with, the death of George Floyd and everything that was going on, you would go certain places and white people would kind of be like sympathetic, like,
Hmm.
oh, and that shit is even weird as fuck in its own way. Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me? Leave me alone. But like, I get it. You're guilty. That's fine. You say nigga when you're alone. You feel bad. You want to talk to random black people. That's cool. Not really, but whatever. Do you? But it's like, the whole Trump shit. It's like, white people kind of like aggressive. They're a little bit like stank looking. And I'm just, the change of environment is definitely weird, but blessed to have, our first black female, vice president.
Yes.
That shit means the world to me.
Yes, absolutely. It's crazy, and I'll move on because I want to get to a political discussion. But the sad and shocking part to me was, even though he lost, he still had over 70 million people that voted for him. Yeah,
And that's
to me,
disgusting.
it shouldn't have been that close. You
At
feel me?
all. Like, you guys saw what happened. Like,
Hmm.
while he was president, why would y'all want that again? But this is a very ugly country and world that we live in. So
Yeah, yeah. So we got a lot of moves that we need to make and a lot of changes that we need to do. But Kamala being in that VP spot is a big one, and I actually did have the chance to meet her when I was in DC, when I lived up in DC, and that was actually the first time I met you about 3 years ago. You probably don't remember this, but I was actually the program director for KYS. And I remember asking my staff at the time when I first got there, I said, who are the local artists that are like really popping in the area? Because I wanted to make it a point to somehow support them and meet the local artists. And like three or four of my staff members kept bringing you up, especially Bacon Bear. Bacon Bear was like your biggest advocate and stuff. And I remember you came up to the station and we met real briefly because you were about to do an interview. And just going out to some of your shows out there at the time, like I could just see your energy. I could see that there was something different and special about you. And now it's crazy to see, like 3 years later, how your buzz has just exploded outside of the DMV. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to say salute you for that. I wanted to tell you that story. But do you ever think about your journey sometimes, about like where you started to where you're at now, and just like how you've gained momentum in such an organic way? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't forced.
I mean, I definitely think back on it. I mean, especially we were just talking about quarantine, especially with quarantine, I watched a lot of my old videos and looked at a lot of old pictures and talked about a lot of old memories and how shit used to be and how it's easier now. And, definitely I reflect on those times. Those times definitely inspired me to keep going because, I wasn't really making no money then, but like it was fulfilling. And, that's how I knew that I loved it. But like, as time goes on, it's definitely something that like keeps me grounded as well. Because I feel like coming from where I come from, like there's always that sense of leadership that I have. Because I mean, PG County, like what there's, like I came out going crazy and it was like a lot of pressure. And I'm just very happy that my hometown embraced me and didn't like, as weird as I am, as crazy as I may be, like they really respected my craft and they listened to my lyrics, and I love them for that. I really do.
And that says a lot about you, because the DMV has an immense amount of talent out there, but it still hasn't like developed like that infrastructure like in Atlanta or New York or Chicago, as far as like independent artists, really being able to have that platform and stuff. So you being able to break out and get the support that you get, because like I lived out there, and not a lot of artists get the support and the love that you get out
And what's
there.
crazy is, so that was about what, like
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
So I beg to differ. Like
Okay.
now, there are so many people who aren't afraid to show the suburbs, because I feel like,
right, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like people have finally understood that there's hoods everywhere.
Right.
And just because people are in a nice neighborhood doesn't mean that they're from there. It just means they probably use it as a prop. And I feel like I definitely took advantage of that, and I inspire people from the DMV to do that. Like, you live in a big house, your parents make money. That don't mean that you got fucking money. And at the end of the day, I remember going to a lot of houses in high school, really, really big houses that were like fucking empty, parents like never there, or just, you know what I'm saying, like alcoholics, off the perks, you know what I'm saying, just hella dismissive. But they live in a beautiful house. So you can't really judge a book by its cover. And I really took pride in that. And I feel like that influenced other artists to do that, because we have a lot of artists now. And there's a lot of studios that even now I can honestly say, when I first started rapping, I was going to one studio, or it was two studios, and both of them were in somebody's basement, not including mine. Not a real studio ever. And through quarantine, like I've been going to like a consistent studio, but it's like actually a studio. There's so many studios that have opened. Like it's becoming a scene. Like I'm not gonna lie, obviously quarantine fucked it up. People can't really see, but it's definitely becoming a scene. It's a lot of new rappers coming out.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think you guys are on the brink of getting your just due, because like I said, there's a lot of talent out there. And you brought up a very good point, because in the past, a lot of artists from the area, they only talked about DC. But now you have artists like yourself, they're saying, no, I'm from Maryland, I'm from PG County. And people are really like taking pride in saying, I'm from PG.
We got artists who are like PG, Baltimore, Richmond, Alexandria, DC, like
Moco.
It's, you know what I'm saying?
Moco,
like even Brent Fayez is from Columbia. He put Columbia on. Like there's so many places, and people are taking pride in that, as they should, because Maryland has always been, DMV has always been a creative place.
Very creative, a lot of talent out there. So I'm excited to see like all y'all just getting your just due and coming out. But let's talk about this very dope project, Nightmare Vacation. I had the chance to listen to it, and the thing that really stuck out to me was just the versatility. You gave us so many different looks and flows. It was very impressive. I mean, of course, you gave us your punk rap, which you're known for, but you gave us some spitting bars like you did on Candy, the first song. I always tell artists, if you catch me on that intro, I'm good for the rest of the project. Then you got smooth joints like Own It on there. So I gotta ask you, how did you develop your style where you're able to come at us with so many different looks and flows?
I mean, I just stopped putting myself in the box. And I feel like I did that very early. Obviously, working with Kenny Beats, I feel like he also helped not put me in a box and not ever make me do one thing. And I could always do a bunch of things and try new things. So having that early on has always just been like, I can make whatever. But, don't get me wrong. Just because we have songs like Own It or iPhone doesn't mean that we don't have what I like to call rough drafts. Like when I first started music and I would go to the studio, I would see like a bunch of equipment and I'm like, how does this work? So I would like produce and, like all that weird shit, cook up beats with producers and just learn shit. And that's when I was hella experimental. So like just bring that into the album, that element of having fun, trying new things, and always just like, let's cook up, let's do something new, let's make a beat of how it felt the first time you ever met me. Like,
okay, I'm with that. There are two songs that I want to ask you about that like are my two personal favorites. Don't Like Me, you, Gucci Mane, and Don Toliver. How'd that one come together?
I feel like people don't give A&Rs enough credit. Thankful for my A&R, Eli. He's amazing. He saw me working hard, just in and out, literally hard as fuck. I was doing like photo shoot, video shoot, content, release, all this shit. And he was just like, I have a gift for you. And he played me the Don Toliver hook and everything. And I was like, bruh, is this real? I did mine. Believe it or not, like I think I did my verse twice. I didn't really like the first one I did. I did mine over and sent it over. He fucked with it, which is crazy. Don Toliver fucked with it. And after that, we were kind of like trying to figure out who else we should get on it. And I wanted Young Thug on it. We both wanted Gucci Mane on it. We both wanted Young Thug on it, but it was just like, okay, cool. Like Gucci Mane and Icy. So we went with Gucci Mane. He actually responded. Thank you, Gucci Mane, obviously.
Shout out to Guap.
He killed the verses. I'm definitely on Gucci's team forever.
Yeah.
And he's always showing love to female artists, up and coming female rappers. So I was like, hella thankful. He sent his shit back hella fast. And next thing you know, I had that shit in my email and I was ready to go.
Man, that's amazing right there. And then my second song that I want to ask you about, which is probably my favorite song off the project, but I like a lot of joints. But that back and forth with you and Amine, I just think like the chemistry is so great on that song. I love the way that you guys go back and forth, literally like the song says. How'd that one come together?
I'm definitely inspired. We were definitely inspired by, like 90s songs, like definitely. What's love got to do with it, babe? So we were just like, okay, like, how can we make our own version of this? We were in the studio with Cash Money AP. He produced that. Mm-hmm. Young Keo was there too. I think he co-produced it. I'm not sure. Yeah, we picked out a couple beats. That was the one that really stuck out. And oh my God, like we were like, coming up with the chorus. And he gets in there, he says his part, I get in there, I say my part, and it's time for the verse. So I'm like writing mine, because I'm definitely, I be taking my time, I be writing. I don't just hop in there, especially if there's another artist. Like I feel like I be wanting to know what they're talking about first. So he gets in there, he kicks it off, and I'm not gonna lie, like I was halfway through my verse, and he gets in there and he starts talking about what he's talking about. And I'm like, okay, I need to change my verse. Like my verse was not talking about nothing he was talking about. And yeah, like I really appreciated him for making me like come out of my shell and, kind of like bring me out of definitely my comfort zone. Cause I never talk about stuff like that. I never talk about the niggas I got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's also like so contradicting because like, I feel like all of us, female rappers, like we all have boyfriends. So it's like, you heard the song, you rapping about all these guys. It's like your boyfriend is just like, But I love him for that because he is also my manager. So he always is like, if it's hard, it's hard. If it sounds fire, it sounds fire. And I always appreciate him for letting me like be an artist.
Right. That's what's up. So overall, how do you feel about the project? Because I think it's dope, but how do you feel about it?
I mean, I fucking love it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to the project completely beginning to end for like 2 weeks. So I'm probably gonna do that when I'm done with all these interviews since it comes out in 2 days. Woo! So
2 days.
I know.
Very exciting. I'll let you know now we're actually featuring you on one of our playlist styles this week. Yes. In celebration of the project, our new hip hop coordinator / curator Dominique, who was actually from the area and who's a big fan of yours, was like, nah, we got to go with Rico Nasty. I said, well, let's do it. So your team
Thank you, Dominique.
will probably show you that. What's one thing that most people don't know about you?
Oh man, you know what's crazy is I got a video describing this perfectly. So there's a video coming out for the song called Check Me Out, and it's a claymation video made by the people who made Nightmare Before Christmas and, you know, Coraline and shit like that. So yeah, that basically talks about how don't judge a book by its cover. And I feel like a lot of times people think I'm scary, creepy, mean, all this shit, stuck up. And I'm really not that. Like, I'm super down to earth, super chill, genuinely happy most of the time. Like, I feel like I have a resting bitch face, or it might be the makeup, but you know, I'm happy most of the time. So like that video kind of tells a story about that, about, you know, the outside looking in. So many people think I'm out to get them and I'm so evil and I'm crazy, and I'm really not like that. Like, I'm really just very loving, and I think it's the mother in me that makes me nurturing and like feel like I need to take care of everybody.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm gonna wrap it up on this question right here. What is something that 2020 has taught you? Because I feel like there's been lessons in this year for everybody.
2020 taught me to adapt. You know, obviously it's hard to adapt right now because like the world is still shifting and moving and going crazy. But yeah, I just try my best to adapt. I try my best to find my way in doing things that I have to do. And I try my best not to let shit make me uncomfortable, because I feel like, why am I uncomfortable?
That's real. That's real. Well, listen, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on an awesome debut official album. We know you've been putting out projects and mixtapes for a minute, but this is the first big one. So we excited, you know what I'm saying? Can't wait. And this is going to be the first of many.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Shit, it's about to be fun. It's about to be exciting. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy it. Have fun. Get some rest and be blessed.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Thank you.